Hey. How you going? Over the past few years, I've been kind of infatuated with this one little concept called speculative evolution. A good example of this is Subnautica, Subnautica 2, and the Biome project by Alex Rise. And what I've been wondering for a while is, what if I tried to make one of those for myself? And luckily for me, one of my friends, Mtmu, just so happened to be creating a server all about being in space. So I decided to offer to make the world for the server, meaning that I could have a go at making a speculative evolution project and she could have a fun world to work on. And she said no. But a couple of weeks later, she hit me up again and said, hey, so we've already got the world sorted for the actual server itself. However, the finale is not sorted for the lore. So for the past few months, I've been designing this world with a bunch of different creatures, plants, blocks, all sorts of stuff that I want to get into today, so I can show it off to you guys and get it ready for the ending of the server. Who's ready for part 1 of the video? Me? I am. You are as well. While designing this dimension, I had to set myself some restraints and guidelines to follow to make sure that I was staying on track with what Mtmu wanted me to make. And number 1 on that list was that nothing inside of this dimension should be allowed to interact with the overworld. So all of the blocks you see around me right now will in fact drop a vanilla counterpart, such as this grass dropping grass and this little goldfish thing just dropping some meat. The second thing she wanted me to do is make it so the only way in and out of the dimension for the planet would be through this block here. Now this block is called a rift, and when you step into it, it'll teleport you back to the overworld. Now the reason that I did this without using a spaceship or something is because I needed to follow the lunar phase lore. This meant there needed to be no survival way of getting into the dimension, so it requires a creative person to place it down. After that, everything else was up to me, and what I chose to do was quite different. Rule number 1, almost everything inside of this dimension needs to glow just a little bit, and that's because I think it looks really cool. Rule number 2, I don't want any water sources to be accessible inside of this dimension. And rule number 3, I wanted all of the mobs to kind of look like they had a common ancestor, so they either have 2 legs and 2 eyes, or 2 legs and 4 eyes. And those are all the different guidelines that we have to follow, which, I mean, shouldn't be too hard. But before we start talking about all the mobs and animals and biomes and that kind of thing, I would like to talk about why the planet looks so different from Earth. Let's get the elephant out of the room by saying, yes, the sky is very, very purple, and that's because I wanted the atmosphere to have a high concentration of argon. No, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did get this information from a Reddit post, but I mean, I'm just gonna hope it's accurate. Also, apparently planets with high levels of argon in the atmosphere have green sunsets, so I added that as well. Something else you may notice if you look up is that there is no moon, and that's because, well, this isn't Earth, so there's not the same celestial bodies orbiting it. Now what that does mean is that at nighttime it gets very dark on the planet's surface, and since it's so dark, I made it so at nighttime if you're in survival mode, it'll get very, very foggy, so you can't see too far ahead of yourself. And I reckon that wraps up pretty much all of what I wanted to say about the planet and the restraints that I was following while designing this stuff, so I reckon we can start talking about the things you've been seeing in the background of these clips. Before making any of the biomes, the first thing I did was create a concepting world so I can kind of build up what I wanted to make and then flesh it out from there. This world actually ended up also doubling as a structure world, as you can see back there. All sorts of stuff is going on, but I would like to ignore that from now. Those things will become relevant later as you see them generating in the world. They're not really that special to look at. However, these 2 pieces of structure kind of turned into what the world ended up becoming. This first formation is like this kind of blackstone sail kind of thing, with these representing movement and light. That my original plan was to have it so like if you impacted on the blackstone, then a big shockwave of light would come out with it, and that would just happen all over the biome. You can see down here on the sand, there's some of it turns orange when you step on it. This sand feature specifically, I did end up implementing, but you won't see that until one of the other biomes later on. Once I had drawn this biome up, I went over to this area and I also built up this kind of boggy looking biome. Similarly, it has the blackstone shields or like sails going through it, but it has this marshy kind of texture to it. And the mud actually ended up eventually being transformed into being the base block of the entire world, with the blackstone being the base stone. And much like over there with how I had orange on the sand, over here we have a little bit of orange being shown up on top of the blackstone. I don't know what to tell you, but that's essentially how the entire planet started. From there I just started adding stuff and it all just went to shit. In terms of biomes in this dimension, there's a total of 5, those being the thermal fields, the cobalt forest, the glass desert, the noxious bog, and finally the shale dredge. And I'm going to start with this biome right here, which is the thermal fields, which is the most common one and the one you usually spawn in. It kind of fills the same niche as the plains inside of Minecraft, where it's pretty flat, but there's bits of bumps around the place and like a bit of caves and that kind of thing. It's just overall a pretty great starting biome. Walking around inside of this biome, you'll notice that most of the ground is made of mud, and out of the mud is growing these other blocks called mud root. I made these mud roots purely to give the ground just a little bit of texture, because when I was looking at the mud previously, it was just very flat and it kind of didn't really blend into this other turf that's behind it. See, if I get rid of this block right here, you can kind of see it just goes straight from mud into there, but if I have this, then it kind of like almost dithers it and like kind of has a gradient going on. Growing with the mud in the ground is these blocks called thermal turf. These quote-unquote turf blocks are kind of like the grass equivalent for this dimension. There's actually 2 different variants, but we'll focus on that later. Conveniently, the red version actually comes with its own block set, those being the thermal tufts and the thermal reeds. When you look at these, I want you to think of them as one plant, this being the main like growth layer of it, then these things growing up out of it, and these being kind of anemone-like in filtering the air for food. And I have to say that my absolute favorite thing about this biome is that at nighttime, it just lights up like an absolute firework. Look at this place. See, these are opening up, they got the little feelers coming out, and the ground, oh, just look at it. It's so cool. The final and largest red-related plant is the caramel tree, that being this big thing here. It has a trunk made out of fibrous stem, which you'll notice most of the plants that are larger are made out of them. And if I go up to a thermal tuft and break it, this is actually going to drop one of the few custom items being thermal pulp. Look at that, it even has its own description. Anyway, what you can do with this thermal pulp is actually walk up to the fibrous stem and right-click on it, and you can bleach it into normal wood, and that'll give you a way to access the vanilla woods without having to leave the dimension and go back to the overworld and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, on top of this stem is the leaves and vines. These are called caramel leaves because they're orange, and same with the vines, they just grow down like pale moss does. Alongside those biome-specific plants, we've got a couple others that kind of just spawn everywhere around the place. This first one is called the radial blossom, and it has a block called the radial foliage growing on it. This doesn't really do anything except for make it look pretty, it just adds a bit of contrast to the biome. And the same goes for these green trees, which are called spiral trees, and yeah, they also just kind of stand out in the biome and look kind of pretty. And for the final above ground feature of this biome, we have these hollow rocks generating. Now if I go underground, all of these different biomes have their own sub-cave biomes below. The thermal fields, naturally, judging by the name, has its own little lava layer. We've got magma blocks generating down here, little lava pools, and some of the caramel vines on the ceiling. Okay, time to talk about the cobalt forest. The second most biome, and also the biome that replaces the forest biome inside of vanilla Minecraft, is called the cobalt forest. And if you look around, it's a very vibrant kind of blue biome. Pretty much every single plant here is either the shade of blue or this kind of almost lilac-ish tone. I'm not really sure how to describe it. Anyhow, this biome is filled with lots of grass, the same similar turf stuff, and also lots and lots of trees. The turf on the ground this time is in fact called phantom turf. It's a different variant of it with a more purplish tone, and just like the thermal turf, at nighttime it also lights up, and so does the rest of this biome. So look at it go. Wow, now it's blue. Isn't that cool? You'll also notice that these trees, called cobalt trees, glow in the dark as well. In case you want proof, they're called cobalt trees, they're the cobalt leaves and the cobalt vines. Then also, just like the thermal biome, there is also cobalt reeds around the place which replace the grass. And finally, for new blocks, there's also this new bush called a lumic shrub, and it acts much like the firefly bush. So if you look around in the air right now, there's a bunch of those particles, and these will actually spawn in pretty much every single biome, but they're most common here, so I wanted to show them off. And finally, this here is what the underground of the cobalt forest looks like. It has these lovely cobalt vines coming from the ceilings in some areas, a whole lot of glow lichen, and occasional patches of this blue and light blue terracotta. Anyway, let's move on to the third biome, the glass desert. I have to say, as far as looks go, the glass desert is 100% the most striking. I mean, look around, look how black this area is. It's so sick. I actually love this biome so much. It's very, very dark and contrasted only by the orange speckles on the sand and these light blue glowing flowers called volt bulbs that grow everywhere. First off, let me talk about the sand. If you look around on the ground, you can see that this sand right here, when stepped on, will start to glow and emit particles. This new type of sand is called obsidian sand, and much like regular sand, it also comes with a glass variant, that being obsidian glass, which if you look around the place, are created in these massive formations where the ground was superheated and it erupted from the floor. There are also smaller one-block versions called glass shards that spike out of the sand like this. Glass shards can't be regenerated, however if you walk into them they will smash and damage you, kinda like a sweet berry bush, except more like an obstacle than anything. So these sand and glass blocks are what make up the floor of the biome. However, my favourite feature of it has to be the volt bulb, which is this new flower that emits an electrical charge when damaged, or at nighttime at random. So for example, if I go up to it and I break it, then it'll do that. However, if it's nighttime, these will automatically do that on their own without breaking the flower, meaning that basically what we get is a biome with its own personalized electrical storm that just happens constantly during the night. If I just fly back up a bit and look down, we're gonna see it do its thing. And that there is the glass desert. What a weird biome. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. It's pretty basic in terms of actual features that have been added to it, but it's certainly like it's a spectacle of all the biomes that there are. And yeah, that brings us on to our fourth biome, the noxious bog. To replace the niche of vanilla swamps, I created the noxious bog. This is kind of a marshish biome. It's got a lot of mud and it's got a lot of these plants called bog ferns, which obviously replace ferns. But the most unique part about this biome is this brand new quote-unquote liquid type, which actually acts more like powdered snow. This stuff is called noxious sludge, and if you walk inside of it, then you'll get slowed down and start taking damage. I don't really want to demonstrate that myself, so this guy can volunteer for us. Yep, there you go. Anyway, apart from that, this block has some pretty unique properties. So the way I designed this block is so I don't really want it to flow, I want it to be more like a tile-like substance. So I made it so if there's no supporting block, it will fall down and it will break itself. However, if it lands on itself, it will start to stack up. Now you're probably thinking, why'd you do that like that? Yeah, so anyway, there's also these other variants called a noxious vent. Now these can't be picked up and they can't be interacted with. However, if you were to step on top of them, you get thrown in the air and you will also take a little bit of damage. I just kind of thought this was a little fun feature to make it a bit more interesting when you're walking around. You know, you kind of have to dodge the vents while you're walking on the sludge. It's just a bit of fun, really, isn't it? Also, just like powdered snow, you can use different boots to be able to walk on it. The noxious sludge actually uses copper boots, which stop you from being slowed down and let you jump around and run all over it. Noxious sludge also allows for the generation of our second new plant in this biome called the noxious lily. Now, the noxious lily has a kind of weird property to it where you can walk on top of them and it won't slow you down when you're stepping on them. However, other animals, like this little guy right here, they will fall straight through them. You can see he is technically still standing on the sludge right now, but he's also inside of the lily pad because he can't interact with it. Now, does that have any real world application whatsoever? Probably not. It just means that they can pathfind through them without getting stuck on them and spinning in circles, which they used to do. That is pretty much it for this biome, which means we can move on to our fifth and final one before we start talking about the mobs, which, to be honest with you, I find a lot more interesting. The name of our final biome is the Shale Dredge, and it actually doesn't have any new plants for me to show you. All it has are these crazy, weird mountain generation. Now, I'll tell you a little bit of a secret. I cheated to make these spawn, I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I love to make Minecraft mods, to put fairly lightly, I am not a professionally taught coder, so therefore, a lot of the things I do are weird workarounds and not particularly well made. I made my own custom version of a structure placer, which is what lets things be placed inside of the world, and I kind of just copy and pasted these giant blackstone blobs in so they always get placed on this one angle. Now, if that doesn't make any sense to you, that's just fine, honestly. It's probably better that way. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how I got there because we have this really cool looking biome. And also, at night time, just like the first two biomes, the ground lights up and makes it look all crazy. That's just about all I had to say about the biomes, which is lucky because I'd want to spend the rest of the video's runtime going through the animals I added, because that's what I spent the most time on, and also playing this world with my friends. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? Okay, let's talk about the mobs. Our very first mob is called the Buggle. Now, these guys represent the bottom of the food chain. They get eaten by the thing that's on the next level of the food chain, which then gets eaten by more stuff, therefore, you know, creating the world around us. These little blokes can spawn in almost every single biome, and they walk around with their two legs and their four little eyes. Look at them go. These blokes fit into a category of very simple vegetarian creatures which don't actually eat anything. They just walk around and kind of serve as ambience and for other animals to hunt. Speaking of animals that hunt them, allow me to move on to that part. This animal here is called the marshmallow, and it's actually the first mob that I added in this game. Here's a clip of me throwing it around on a leash. They really hate them. Anyway, these are one of the most common creatures, and they kind of represent frogs with two legs, obviously, and they do this little weird hopping animation when they go around the place. They have really long tongues which they use to sniff the air, kind of like how a snake does, and they have this glowing speckled pattern on their back. Like I said before, these creatures will actually hunt the Buggles, but unlike in normal Minecraft, where monsters will just hunt each other immediately, these guys will only go after the Buggle if they actually feel hungry, or, you know, something random happens and they decide they want to hunt it down. Oh, here we go! See, look, they're hunting him. Now, unlike the other animals on this planet, these guys will actually drop a custom item, which can be used to lead around some of the bigger mobs we're going to come across later on. And you know what the greatest part about them is the fact that these guys aren't the only mellies there are. There's also this bloke, who is currently running away from me. This mob here is called the giant melly. It's the larger cousin of the marshmallow, and it spawns inside of cobalt forests, the desert, and also noxious bogs. Just like the marshmallow, these guys will also hunt the Buggles, as that's their main source of food, and they also sometimes yawn and stick out their tongue. Let's see if we can see them do that. Oh, look at that, big old yawn going on. Just like the marshmallow, these guys will actually also drop a custom item, which can also be used to lead around some of the bigger predators. Our next mob is called Rapunzel's Lantern, which is the small squid-like thing you can see floating off screen right now. I added these guys because I felt like there wasn't enough to look at when you look in the sky, and you know, I didn't really have any birds or anything I added, so small helium-propelled squid-like things felt like the right thing to do. Also, if you kill them, they will drop glowstone dust, because they glow. Next up, I want to talk about a group of 3 herbivorous mods that I added last second to kind of give the ground a bit more ambience, because I really felt like we didn't have enough small creatures and we had a lot of big predators. The start of the list is the Wincy, which is this guy here, and according to lore, they are actually related closely to the Mellies. As you can see, it has 2 limbs and only 2 eyes. Now, all 3 of these mobs don't really have a use. They do just kind of take up space and get eaten by some of the bigger mobs, but I mean, I think they look pretty cool. The next small herbivore is called the Punky, and he's named that because he's got a giant awesome mohawk. And I fucking love these guys. Look at him go. Oh, he's so sick. If you look really closely, you can see they have a very small frill around the edge of their face as well. The Punky has actually been designed to match with the genus of 2 other mobs that we'll see later on, which are all in similar family trees according to lore. The final of the 3 herbivorous mods is called Mr. Happy. You saw him in the intro of this video actually. It's this little goldfish looking thing, and I think he looks ridiculous. According to the document I made to help kind of flesh out the lore of this place, and also so I could teach people how to explore, these guys are named Mr. Happy because they are named after the childhood goldfish of the first Explorer, but they are actually named that because if you look at the top of them, then they have a smiley face emoji. Now, none of these three dudes actually interact with anything or drop anything. All they do is get eaten by other bigger creatures, so I reckon it's time to move on from them. Looks like they're moving on from us as well. Our first largest mob is called the Skitter. Oh, look at him, he's shaking his head at me. These guys are herbivores as well, so they will not attack you or do anything like that. However, sometimes they'll clap their beak around and shake their head like that. I think that's really, really cool. So the Skitter is the first of the other two mobs that are related to the Punky, and you can tell because they have 4 eyes, large wide legs, and also a bit of something on their head. These blokes will spawn in large groups inside of the thermal fields biome and will also spawn inside of the shale dredge biome. Our next animal is a little bit unorthodox, and it's the thing that's right behind me here. These structures, which you may have seen inside of the biome segment, are called the Goldilocks colony, and basically they're a bunch of microorganisms that have formed a hard shell and spread out on big branches. On the edges you can see this stuff called the Goldilocks foliage. However, since they're not plants, it's technically not foliage. I also can't believe I just said plants instead of plants. What this stuff actually is a semi-transparent kind of mucus that they use to filter feed the air and suck in nutrients for the main colony. The reason they're called a Goldilocks colony is because they look for the perfect place to grow, and then once they reach it, they grow to absolutely fucking colossal sizes. Look at the size of this thing. I am actually so happy with how these came out. These are actually structures, and what they do is they pick random points along the trunk and just branch off with the filter feeding mechanisms on the side. Next on our list is this kind of strange looking creature called the Thermal Devil. Now surprisingly, these guys aren't actually related to the Punky or the Skitter. They're also really, really peculiar looking, almost like a mix of a sheep and a Stegosaurus. These lads are entirely harmless, kind of just walking around making a lot of noise and flapping their sails on their back a bit. We are now moving on to our final 4 creatures, all of which are apex predators of different regions. First on that list, we have the Bullbeak. So the Bullbeak will actually spawn in large packs inside of the thermal fields and also the glass desert. Whoa, see that? Okay. So what these guys do is they open up their mouths and they force a part of their spine out. That big glowing thing is actually... Oh, there's another one. That's what they use as their main weapon. So they stick that out of their mouth and they'll use that like a battering ram and whack it against other creatures, which I will be hopefully able to demonstrate in just a second. Oh, here one's come. He's going. Look at that. I absolutely love the uniqueness of the design. I actually got the idea of forcing their spines out of their mouths from how pelicans call themselves down. They will force their beak over their neck and kind of just shove their spine out of their mouth. Another thing to make of note is that all 4 of these creatures actually have their own ways to display when they're threatening something. You know, like these dudes are shaking their mouths in the air like that. So let's move on to the second one. For this animal, we have to make our way over to the Noxious Bog because that's the only place that it can spawn. This here is the Noxious Wader, and it kind of fills the niche of a crocodile. Oh my god, did you say that? Anyway, the reason that I called them the Noxious Wader is because they'll sit slightly below the surface of the sludge, and they'll only come out usually when they're attacking or just, you know, going for a walk like this dude is. The Noxious Wader is actually the only thing in the entire mod that is like by default hostile towards almost every other creatures, which means yes, all the other apex predators will sometimes attempt to hunt you and other creatures, but they won't always do it, only when they're hungry. However, because the Noxious Wader isn't super fast and also is an ambush predator, it'll just snap at whatever goes past. Which means if I put a bullbeak down right next to it, it'll actually go after it. For our third apex predator, we have to move over to the Glass Desert, or the Cobalt Forest if you'd prefer to go there. This guy is called the Spiny Hawkmouth. So what these guys do is they have a retractable lance inside of their actual head, and their mouth is positioned on their kind of torso area, meaning that this is entirely stationary except when they're trying to eat something. And much like the other apex predators we've seen so far, they will wave them in the air and shake them about when they're feeling threatened or want to show off dominance. Originally, while concepting these guys, I actually made them brown, but this bluish white color with the spots, just like the giant melee, I think fits way better inside of these other biomes, because the brown just wasn't really matching the entire vibe of the place. For our final apex predator, we have to step into the ridges of the shale dredge. These ones are my absolute favorites. I love them so much. Let me see if I can find one naturally. This small pack of animals here is called the Dredgemore, and they are the final creature that is related to the Punky and the Skitter. I'm sure you can see the family resemblance going on here. My favorite thing about the Dredgemore 100% has to be the noises they make and also how they threaten the other creatures. The difference between these guys and the other creatures is that they've kind of got like their eyes on the end of... Yeah, like that. Look at him. Look at him. Isn't that awesome? I fucking love these guys. So the Dredgemore lives inside of the shale dredge, and they will actually hunt in packs and also retaliate in a pack if one of them gets hurt. However, I'm going to see if I can try and get them to hunt this giant melee here. Oh, one of them's going for it. Go, get him. I love the sound they make when they make contact with the creature. I'm going to put down a Noxious Wader and just make them fight each other. And there you have it. That is all 14 of the animals inside of this mod. And I mean, I don't know what you think about them, but I personally fucking love every one of them. I hope you enjoyed the video so far. This brings me to the end of my explanatory segment. Admittedly, this video hasn't been similar to what I do usually. This time I'd already made the mod before I started recording, meaning that I've just kind of been explaining what I've done. If you would like to play this mod, I will link it for free in the description. You'll be able to download it on my Ko-Fi. However, I will not be releasing it on Modrinth, and after this, it will not be receiving any updates. So yeah, I reckon it's time that we open the rift.
I am David Attenborough, and this film is my witness statement and my vision for the future. Our planet is headed for disaster.
Ignition sequence start. Engines on.
The way we humans live on Earth
5, 4, 3.
is sending it into a decline.
2, 1.
If we act now, we can yet put it right. There are many ways to describe life on this planet. Some creatures could be called magnificent or monstrous, perhaps misunderstood. Explore the coastlines where giants roam, the deserts where danger rules. The living world is a unique and spectacular marvel. Join us for a story you've never heard, on a scale you've never witnessed. Unknown, unexplained, unbelievable, until now.
Let all the children boogie.
Where's the rocket? Where's
Right, yeah, okay.
where's the
let
astronomer?
me give you a bit of context, right?
Okay.
So this mod was made for a server. The server was based on another planet, right? And for the finale of the lore of the server, my friend was like, hey, can you make us a dimension that we can travel through a rift to go and explore? However, it can't be interactive at all. You can't take anything out of it.
Okay.
So it's entirely, it acts as just like a big pretty picture, and that's about the entire gist of it. So the way you get to
That's
it
awesome.
is you step on this.
The ominous cube.
Our mission is going to be to find all 14 monsters inside of this dimension and kill them. You know, like, as a little reference to your video. Remember the time you did that?
Don't.
So first things
not
first,
advanced
we're going to
enough
have to gear up a bit. Which you can actually do inside of this dimension. So to be able to get wood, we need to get thermal pulp from... we need to get thermal pulp and use it to bleach the mushroom stems.
What is this big ass tree? What the fuck? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's one of the animals. That one's technically an animal by law, but like, it's not actually. It's one of the 14. We don't have to kill that one. So we're looking for little tufts in the ground. They drop thermal pulp, which can be used to either eat, or you can use it to bleach the stems of the other trees into wood.
That guy. You're coming towards him, so he's friendly, but...
Yeah, okay, so the way that most of the... So there's a couple of apex predators like this dude right here. But they don't actively hunt anything all the time. So like, you know, like wolves will just actively hunt sheep constantly.
Yes.
Yeah, so they've actually got like a proper like hunting system where like it won't happen all the time, it'll just only happen at random. So like if you hang around them for long enough, eventually they'll become aggressive, but it won't happen immediately.
Okay.
But if you hit them, they'll defend themselves. We need to look for these little tufts. Thermal pulp.
Okay.
Now that I've got some thermal pulp, we can go up to this stuff, which is called fibrous stem, and we can either pick it up and craft it in our inventories, or we can just right click on it like that.
Okay.
And that's how we get
So
wood.
we have wood. This.
Yep.
Okay.
Easy to
Do
get
we go underground, or are there like?
we
on the
can. There is underground like kind of like quote unquote sub biomes, but it's not.
I'm cheating with free
Nothing crazy.
I think I would need some. I would like some more food before.
Yeah,
we
let's get some
leave this
food.
biome.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's find an
probably would be
alien. Let's
fine.
find an alien we can kill that we can drop food from.
So if I attack them, they will not.
Nope. These guys
back?
will let sheep. Oh man, you didn't drop anything.
Yeah, I don't think they drop.
Oh, you're gonna be joking. Why are they not dropping specifically?
Did they not drop? Okay.
What?
Wait, oh,
Okay.
what the fuck is happening?
Oh yeah, no time it lights up. Oh wait, there's one of the frog creatures here. I can't kill him. Come back here. Yeah, there we go. These dudes, I think, also drop food. These are called skitters.
Do they fight back a lot?
No, they're too small to. They're vegetarian. I think they drop the protein anyway.
We will find out.
Yeah, bang, there we go. That's the good stuff.
You can have it. Something here is gonna hurt me. I don't know what yet, but what is this one?
That's the Volt Bulb. Don't stand too close to
Oh,
it.
okay, so
Oh,
so I'm glad I came up right to it. This place is dangerous. Okay, is there?
Yeah, the desert. It was the most dangerous biome. I won't pretend it's not.
So we played this mod to go straight mining.
Yeah, that seems like the go, eh? Luckily, all the ores are quite common once you get down to the caves. Alright, well, our job now is to find all of the mobs and kill them. Yay!
Will you add the Apple Pay sound?
Yeah, I'll add the Apple Pay sound every time it goes up. I've got a little counter in the corner every time we kill a mob. I mean, we can try and take on one of the big dudes.
I mean, I'm on 2 health, so it should be easy, right? So this guy. Oh, okay.
He's getting angry. Bang!
Look at us. It's so cool. It looks so nice.
Lucky that's the
Holy
only purpose
shit.
of the dimension.
Listen, you nailed that part.
Oh, I see the frogs. These dudes, I believe, have the best food. Whoa.
Do they now? Whoa. Okay, that looks cool.
Alright, how much food does it give me? Come on, please give me more than 2. Yes! Oh, they're actually great.
Okay, yes.
They're
This
actually
is
so
good.
nice. They're actually so nice. We need to find more of these guys.
Yeah, there's also another one
That's
here.
another one. That's Mr. Happy. Oh.
At this point, we're just going around killing shit. So.
Okay, well, I mean, we do need to kill these guys eventually. I can't remember.
We might as well do it now. I'm just wondering, why did my screen go black?
Oh, what are you doing?
Holy shit!
Bro.
Got him. See, it wasn't that hard.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. You hit one of them. They were just kind of jumped.
I didn't know they would attack at the same time.
They just kind of jumped. They just whipped out their swords, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Shit.
I say the floaty
There's a
guys.
lot of them.
We haven't killed the floaty guys yet.
Got him. Got him.
I thought he had more health than that.
No, apparently he doesn't.
Apparently not.
I see more food.
Oh, there's another
Wait,
one.
I'll go into my Okay, wait. First you. Yeah, where are we going? Oh, this one. Wait.
It's so scared. Oh, there he goes.
We're missing a punky, a boggle. Did we get a boggle?
We have not killed a buggle yet, no.
Okay. So okay, we're up to date. We
Okay.
have every information we need. Oh, hello.
It kind of scared me.
Maybe we okay, so
Oh, wait,
you
yeah, here they
want
are, here they are,
these?
here they are. Look at them, bro. They're so awesome.
Yeah, they look great.
You missed.
I did. No. We're gonna cut that out.
This biome over here is called the Shale Dredge. This is where the rare mob spawns. How many more mobs have we got left? We've got like 2 or 3.
We got a boggle left.
No, we got that one.
Okay, wait, that was the bug. Yep. We got a punky.
Yes, we do need to kill that guy still. Yep.
Noxious wader.
Waiter.
Noxious
Yep.
wader. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry for butchering this guy's name.
That's all right,
And
so
Dredgemaw.
Yep.
And the dredge mob.
Those are the 3 left.
So free.
Okay.
We're so close to killing all the mobs in
What's
in Cool Aliens.
in the Cool Aliens Minecraft mob?
This whole place is like Hungry Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was designed so other people that were already geared up could come in and explore around the place and have a good time. So I didn't really make it with the intention of people actually surviving here.
Do you see this tree now? The
Oh,
terracotta tree.
Yeah.
Wait, you got it?
The spiral tree you're looking at.
Wait, okay.
No, we got a punky. There's a
Holy
punky here.
shit!
There's one more mob after this dude. This is the punky. We're still in the dredge more. Oh, and also the noxious waiter. Yeah, do you want to do it? You can do it. You can do it.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. I love killing animals. Okay. I'm gonna punky. Got it. This is so different from like making a challenge video. Holy shit.
Let's go.
Minecraft is so fun to just play normally.
Minecraft's so fun to play normally. He's looking around. He's looking around at all this. This is really
the normal,
nice.
the usual
Is this normal?
Minecraft. But okay, but it genuinely looks like one of those like Minecraft April Fools updates. Like I genuinely see like developers putting something like this.
the Infinite Dimensions update.
But they would actually add the rocket, you know? You wouldn't like, just.
Hey, whoa.
I'm just saying.
Hey, that was
really excited for the
that
rocket.
was part of the cinematic experience.
It's part of the fucking lie. I see a cave.
It's just
Do they generate?
Nope. There's just a big.
Okay.
We're looking for like a little stocky pink thing.
Didn't we kill the pink thing? Once?
That's the
Didn't
punky. That's the punky.
Okay,
There's a bigger version. Imagine punky, but a little bit bigger. Yeah, I've done my. Oh my gosh!
Oh my
Is that
god!
them? Is that the
How did that
second to last
happen?
mob that we need to find? The
Oh.
Dredgemore.
You assassinate one.
Wow, what a fun fight that was.
Wow.
Okay, onto
Wait.
bigger and better things. All right. Oh,
God, I can't wait.
oh,
What the fuck?
oh, kill it.
Does it deal this much damage?
I don't know if it does that much damage, but
That scared me actually.
yeah, they sit
Out of
under
nowhere.
that mob.
Oh shit!
That mob's supposed to sit under the surface of the like liquid poles, and it like jumps out of you and whips its frill out.
Gotcha.
Anyway, that's all 13 mobs.
Wait, let me.
Do a little dance.
Yes, of course.
Do you feel the rhythm?
The
Okay.
The
Bye-bye,
issue
guys.
is on my